A bunch of you have asked about my smart scale, which one I use, do I like it? So I'm going to talk about that today. It tracks like at least a half a dozen different metrics, but I don't know how accurate a $40 scale is. So today I'm walking you through my scale's data and how it compares to my last DEXA scan to see how close it gets. Plus I've got my latest weigh-in and a little life update. This is the smart scale I've used for months to track not just weight loss, but a lot of other body composition metrics as well. So let's take a look. Okay, let's start with my weekly weigh-in update. So just for context, I started almost 6 months ago at 210.1 pounds. Last week, I weighed in at 190.4, and this week, I weighed in at 189.8. So I was down 0.6 pounds, and it's a total loss of 20.3 pounds. This weigh-in, it was 0.6 pounds, so not my biggest and not my smallest weigh-in. But there are two milestones here. One is that I hit that threshold of 20 pounds lost. And the other one is that I'm in the 180s, which I don't remember how long it's been since I've weighed in the 180s. I don't know, 1 year, 2 years, more than that? I honestly don't know. So I'm the lowest weight I've been in a significant amount of time. So that's a nice weigh-in this week. I've heard people talk about the magic dose, like what dose works best for them and where they have the least side effects and the most weight loss. And I'm kind of wondering now after, let's see, I just took my 5th shot of 5 milligrams, if this is the Zepbound dose that is my magic dose, because I've lost weight every week so far and I've had no constipation, which if you followed me in the past, it was a huge problem for me with Semaglutide. And really the only side effect with Zepbound I've had is when I first started it and when I first increased my dose, I had some nausea in the day or two after the first shot. And I guess I would classify it as mild nausea because I never threw up. It didn't keep me from eating. And if I took one Zofran, it went away and I never needed another Zofran. Now I'm 5 weeks into the 5 milligram dose and I don't have any side effects. And it does feel kind of like the magic dose. Hello, if I'm editing Bobby. The other reason I'm wondering if it's the magic dose is not just that I'm tolerating it well, but my hunger is very well controlled and I don't have any food noise. So I'm able to eat enough, but I'm not like snacky or having cravings or, thinking about food a lot. So I'm really loving it. Okay, here's all my smart scale stuff. If you're new here, I'm Bobby. I'm a therapist and an artist, and I'm documenting my GLP-1 weight loss journey here on YouTube. I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm not your therapist. None of this is medical advice or psychological advice. I'm just sharing my own experience here. Always talk to your own healthcare providers when you're making decisions for yourself. My smart scale is FitTrack brand Dara scale, and I don't know if I'm saying that right. Dara. I bought it online for somewhere between $35 and $40 about, I don't know, a year ago. And I found it to be accurate in terms of comparing my total weight to other scales that I have. But all of the stats that it gives, I've never really known how accurate they are. It's editing Bobby again. I left out so much from this video. So I wanted to tell you about the app that comes with the scale, or not comes with it, but you download an app and it's the Hume app, Hume. It confused me a little bit at first because Hume doesn't appear anywhere on like the actual scale itself. But I guess the app is a companion to the FitTrack scale. They're integrated and the app is where all of your data shows up when you weigh yourself. Actually, first I open the Hume app and then weigh myself. And, the magic Bluetooth gods send the information from the scale over to the app. And here are some screenshots of what the different data looks like inside the app. You'll see more of this next week when I go over my 6-month progress so far. A couple months ago, I had a DEXA scan, so I figured I would take the results of my DEXA scan and put them next to the results of whatever weigh-in I had that was closest in time to that DEXA scan and see how they measure up. There are a bunch of metrics that I don't find very useful. The ones that I've really focused on are weight, lean mass, body fat percentage, body fat mass, and visceral fat mass. So my DEXA scan was on May 14th, and the closest time that I had weighed myself was the day before that on May 13th. And you can see that my weight is a little bit different, but you know what? I had clothes on during my DEXA scan, and I didn't during my at-home weigh-in. So I think that accounts for, the 1.1 pounds. I dressed pretty light for the DEXA scan. I think I had on like a tank top and shorts or something. And then according to the DEXA scan, my lean mass was 109 pounds. But according to the FitTrack, my lean mass was 111.7 pounds. I think that's pretty close. That's just like less than 3 pounds difference. So that's nice. The body fat, however, shows a big discrepancy. Body fat mass on the DEXA scan is 84.5 pounds, and the FitTrack showed 72.2 pounds. And that also skews the body fat percentage. The DEXA scan results were body fat percentage 43.7, whereas the FitTrack results were body fat percentage 36.5, and that's a significant difference. And again, on subcutaneous fat mass, the DEXA scan measured 84.5 pounds, and the FitTrack measured 62.8 pounds. So in general, total weight and estimating lean mass, the FitTrack was pretty on target, but it was way off target estimating fat mass. I did a little Googling so that I could explain this difference to you. The DEXA scan really is the gold standard for measuring body composition. It's got very high accuracy and low variability. DEXA scans use X-rays to measure fat, lean mass, bone mass, and it's very precise. Smart scales like mine use bioelectrical impedance by sending a weak electrical current through your body. And they're just super sensitive to things like how hydrated your body is, when you last ate, if you've exercised, if you're holding onto water. It's a common pattern with at-home smart scales to measure a lot lower on fat mass. And in fact, you'd expect to see a 10 to 15 pound difference between a DEXA scan and a smart scale, just because a smart scale isn't as accurate and underreports fat mass. So it's reassuring to me to know that there's an actual explanation for why my at-home scale is so off, and that I should know that even though it's giving me an accurate figure in terms of what my total body weight is, it's going to underestimate how much body fat I have. So if you have a smart scale, you can know that it's just not precise for fat mass numbers, and use the data from your smart scale to track trends over time. That's a lot of T's. And then every 6 months or so, get a DEXA scan, because that's really the benchmark when you can get the accurate figures. I can continue to use the smart scale and just use it to track relative to its own measurements, and not think that the amount of fat it's telling me that I have or that I'm losing is necessarily very accurate. It's likely underestimating it by about 15%. And I don't need to know exactly, right? I just need to know that I'm on the right track in terms of decreasing my fat. And when I want to know more precise numbers, I'll get a DEXA scan. I hope this was helpful for you, and I will link to the scale that I have. The research I did on smart scales didn't call out any particular brands. There are several major brands that have this type of scale on the market, and it sounds like they all use the same technology. This is the only one I've used, and it's working as well as these smart scales work. So I recommend it, but I also think that other brands probably work just as well. I don't know. The big takeaway for me is just that the scale can help me track directional changes. Like, even if the fat mass reading is wrong, if it's trending downwards, then I'm on the right track. And then besides the data I get from my smart scale, I also focus on how my clothes are fitting and how strong I'm getting at the gym, how I'm feeling overall physically. And I've said this before, I don't know what my mental block is with taking measurements, but I don't take my own measurements. And I know it's a very common, very highly recommended way of tracking progress when you're trying to lose weight and maintain muscle mass, but I don't do it. I don't know. It's not going to happen for me.
I accidentally deleted my life update that I filmed. So now I'm re-recording it, and I hope I remember what I said, because I don't really script these things. I definitely wanted to check in about something I told you all a few months ago about the driving fear I was having. Long story short, I had a panic attack when I was driving alone to church because usually I go with my husband. And so then I started feeling too anxious to drive to church alone. And when he was in town, we'd go together, but he's out of town a lot. And when he's out of town, I wasn't going. And so I wanted to do exposure therapy on myself, which is ironic because I do it with my clients all the time, and just make myself, drive there alone. And then, weirdly, in all of the weeks and months since then, I have not had the opportunity. I've either been out of town or my husband's been in town. He travels a lot for work, but he just had this period of time where he was home more, or he at least was home more on Sundays. And so I have not been able to do exposure therapy on myself, but I didn't want to just leave it hanging. So I'm just telling you all that I still plan to overcome that, and I will let you know when it happens. And I think that was the main thing. I probably talked to him about my daughter because I'm so excited because she got married last week. I talked about that, the bonus video I did last week about packing. I was packing to go see her get married. And just super excited. We live in different states and I miss her a lot, but I'm definitely going to be visiting her more often now. And of course, I've already started finding cute baby things for the baby. I think that was about it. God, I wish I didn't delete that video. But anyway, all of you who are content creators, I can't wait to catch up on your lives. I am going to stop recording right now and go watch a bunch of your videos.
Okay, it's time for me to get ready for the gym, and I really don't want to go, but I'm going to go. And to keep myself accountable, I'm going to film my outro in my car after I work out. That way, I know I won't blow off my workout when I close my laptop right now. See you in a second. I'm back from the gym. I forgot to record the outro in my car, but thinking that that's what I was going to do is just the push I needed so that I actually went to the gym. So thanks for the accountability. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate your support. If you liked this, I would really appreciate if you gave it a like. And if you want to watch more of my videos, think about subscribing so you don't miss any of them. Don't miss next week. My video is going to be a 6-month review of my GLP-1 journey so far. I can't believe it's been 6 months. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Bye.